Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to be my review for Big Brother 16, episode 15, and this episode was great. I love this episode, and I love this episode because finally someone is stirring up trouble. Someone is causing trouble, someone is causing tension in the house, and honestly, I'm happy about this. I'm happy that, somebody finally caused tension, and of course that person was Zach. And honestly, say what you want about Zach, but you have to admit, Zach made this episode like 10 times better than it could have been. It could have been a really boring episode, but it was really good because of the way this episode went. Now, let's just get to it. So right away, as we know, Amber wanted to create that all-girls alliance last week. She talked to Christine about it, asked Christine if Nicole would be on board. Of course, Christine said yes. What we find out is after this happened, Christine did what a loyal person in an alliance should do, and she went to the detonators and told them what's going on. Honestly, I thought this was a good thing that Christine did. She did the right thing, in my opinion, because when you're loyal to that alliance, it's the right thing to do. However, the girls' alliance would make her safer, but at the same time, I think it's just that she was in this alliance, and she knew that she was in this alliance, so she did what she thought was best, and personally, I probably would have done the same thing, probably, but I don't know. But basically, this makes Zach really want to target Amber. That's what he wants to do. He wants to get Amber. He wants to backdoor Amber because he heard that, she's coming after the detonator. She heard that specifically the guys, because the guys are controlling the house right now. So Zach wants her home before she sends him home, basically. So, basically, so yeah, that was definitely very interesting. Now, Donnie, in the meantime, I felt really bad for him, because Donnie's very worried that the same thing's gonna happen. Who are the three people that have been nominated the most so far this season? Donnie, Jocasta, Victoria. Donnie is worried that the same thing is going to happen to him now. He's worried that the same thing is going to happen again, and he doesn't want this to happen again. That's what he's kind of worried about. So, I understand why he's upset about that. He has reasons to be upset, and yeah, I understand why Donnie's upset about that, definitely. So, basically, then Zach asks Frankie if they have a target, and basically, he asks Frankie if they have a target, which we know they do, and Amber is who they are thinking of, and Zach also wants Caleb up because it is a good play for his game, and I can definitely understand that, but the thing is with Caleb, if you get Amber out of the house, Caleb might actually play a good game, because Caleb's not focused on the game right now because of Amber. So getting Amber out of the house is actually a very good thing, in my opinion. Amber, is a very strong player, and that's actually a very good move. If they were to get Amber out of the house this week, that would be one of the biggest moves of the season so far, definitely. So Amber then tells Caleb that if Zach puts her up, she's telling everyone about the alliance, and that's it. She's telling everyone about the alliance. That's just what's going to happen, because I guess Caleb and her are in some sort of alliance. So then they go to see the HOH room, and you feel so happy for Frankie. By the way, Derek he did a great thing for Frankie. Derek decided to, let Frankie, he gave up that HOH for Frankie because he thought it was the right thing to do. And you see Frankie's grandfather, and it's just like, it's really touching because, you saw Frankie's grandfather, and he looked so much like Frankie. He looked like a really nice man. He looked like a really nice man, and I just thought that scene was so good. I really enjoyed that scene, and that was just a very good scene in my opinion. And then the episode started getting very interesting. Yeah, so Zach, as I said, he is the person that's really starting to cause trouble, and let me talk about how. Basically, what he wanted to do is, as I said, he wanted to backdoor Amber. He wanted to put up Amber. That was his plan. So he's with Christine, and he tells Christine that she is going to have to be put up as a pawn, basically, that he wants her to go up, but just throw the battle block competition, so that way she, stays on the block. And I can understand that. Sometimes when you're in an alliance, you have to take one for the team. Christine freaks out about it, literally, and I do not like Christine after this scene, because here's the thing. Look, I understand that, that you don't want to be on the block, but sometimes you have to take one for the team. You have to understand that. When you're in an alliance, you have to trust those people in that alliance, and you have to take one for the team. If Christine didn't want to be in this alliance, then you did that to yourself. If you didn't want to be in this alliance, you could have said no. But you had to join the alliance that you don't trust people in, And, yeah, so why can't you just work with Nicole? Honestly, why can't you just work with Nicole? And, now Zach doesn't understand what the problem is, and I don't understand what the problem is either. I mean, if she's not going home, then what's the problem? I don't understand why she had such a problem with that, and honestly, I just thought that was really stupid that she had such a problem with it, in my opinion. I thought Christine, should not have had as much as a problem with it. Yes, as I said, yes, I understand that she is worried about being targeted. I understand that. What I don't understand is why she was so worried about it. Definitely, I don't understand why she was worried about it, because I think it was, it was silly that she was upset about it. So yeah, that really made things very interesting. So then after this, Caleb, of course, he basically, made a bet that Amber would go on a date with him, and, she decides to go on a date with him finally. They go on a date, but Amber is not interested at all. You can tell right away Amber is not interested, pretty much because Caleb is sitting there talking about himself, and, how, oh, your parents would love me, and he's talking all about himself, kind of being very self-centered. I have to say this. Caleb is very self-centric, and very into himself, which is kind of a good strategy in the Big Brother house, because it's like, you're out for yourself and yourself only. However, with Caleb, it has nothing to do with gameplay. It's just he's very self-centric, and basically Amber literally turns around and stares at Cody. I mean, it's just like, and Caleb's like, hello? Pfft, I don't blame her. I don't blame Amber. If I was sitting at a table with a girl, and a girl kept rambling on about, like, how pretty she was, I would be like, seriously? Can we talk about something other than you? I mean, a date is supposed to be two people talking. A date is supposed to be two people talking, having a good time. And that's not what Amber was doing. She wasn't having a good time. She was, basically just listening to Caleb talk. And, honestly, I thought that scene was definitely very funny, and was definitely very interesting. So yeah, that was definitely very interesting. So yeah, I understood, I thought that was definitely very good, and I understand why Amber, Amber even said, this is my last date with Caleb, I'm not doing it again, and I understand why she did that, because, Caleb was just talking about himself the whole time. So then Frankie's in the HOH room with, Zach and Cody, and, I believe Hayden was in there as well, and he tells him about what Christine did. Now, Cody tells Zach that he's on a power trip, and that, it's not a good idea to do that, and basically, he tells Zach that if he were to say that to him, he would say, no, I'm not going up on the block. Now, Frankie thinks Zach acting like a monster. Now, that is a little too far. In my opinion, as I said, I think what Zach did was just trying to take one for the team, because he knows he has a target, and the only other person he can put up is someone from his alliance. Because, think about it, 5 people in this alliance, and how many people are left in the house, besides these people? There aren't that many people left besides these 5 people in the house. You have Nicole, Victoria, Jocasta, Hayden, Amber, Caleb, and I think that 6, yeah, I don't know, I think there's more, but I'm probably forgetting some. Oh, Donnie, don't forget Donnie. So yeah, other than them, though, there's not really, anyone else who is in there, anyone else that's not in their alliance, so I can completely understand why he wants to do that, because he's really good friends with Nicole. He doesn't want to hurt Nicole, he doesn't want to put Nicole on the block. He doesn't want to put Donnie on the block, because Donnie's a beast at competitions, and Donnie's a very good, ally for them. Plus, if you put Donnie up on the block, everyone hates you, pretty much, and, I can understand why Zach did what he did. However, I do understand Cody when he said, if you were to put them on the block, he would probably react the same way. But the thing is, Christine kind of overreacted about it. She did overreact a lot about it, and I do understand why Zach did what he did. He was trying to make a power move, and that's what he was doing. So, Zach then goes to see Nicole and asks her how much she trusts Christine in the game, basically because what he wants to do is, since Christine was so mad about the game and everything, he wants to get Nicole on his side and basically make her turn against Christine, because Christine is now his target. So Nicole is very nervous. She thinks Christine has an alliance. Nicole is not dumb here. Nicole is not dumb, because she pretty much is thinking that Christine has an alliance with Zach. Why else would he mention her? Because, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Why else would you mention someone you're in alliance with? I'm not saying Zach is not dumb, what he's doing. He's doing something very smart, actually. He's trying to get Nicole on his side. So Zach tells Nicole he has no idea what is going on in the house, and basically, he has only accomplished to make her extremely paranoid. She is extremely paranoid after this. She does not know what to think, and I don't blame her. I don't blame Zach after this. I understand why Zach did what he did, but it was sort of like the way he did it, he could have done it in a different way, in my opinion. Like, the way he did it, I would have probably done it a different way. If I were Zach, I would have probably done it a completely different way. However, I do kind of understand why he did this. He did this to make her paranoid, and holy shit, my lighting is terrible. He did this to make her paranoid, and that's why he did it, because he did it to make her paranoid. So yeah, I do understand that. So then we have a really nice scene. I thought this was a good scene because Cody and Derek, they're kind of fed up with how Zach is acting and how Frankie is acting and how Christine is acting as well. I think there's too much drama going on there. Now, Cody and Derek have been very good allies. You know, they've really made some really good decisions. They decide to create a Final Two alliance called the Hitmen, and I think this is a good alliance personally because the two of them are very much the same type of player. They're very strategic, they're nice, they are very sensitive when it comes to certain things. They're nice guys. They'll do nice things for people. They in no way try to sabotage people's game. I completely understand why they want to make an alliance. They are perfect to be in an alliance together. I think that's perfect for them to be in an alliance, and I'm happy that they decided to create an alliance. I think that was perfect for them, and I couldn't have thought of a better alliance than Derek and Cody. I couldn't have thought of a better alliance personally. I think that was the perfect alliance in my opinion. So then what happens is, then basically the Team America mission starts. Donnie's called into the room for Team America, which I was surprised Donnie was in there because Frankie's the HOH. But Donnie's called in there and he tells Frankie and Derek what's going on. And basically Frankie says Zach already kind of has a plan because Zach had been practicing his speech, what he's going to say to Christine and Nicole, what he's going to say to Christine at the nominations. So what they're pretty much thinking is they can get someone to fight. Of course, their mission is get two people to fight either at nomination ceremony or the POV. Now, this is actually the first Team America mission that I think could stir up trouble. That's one of the reasons why I like this mission, because I think it's going to be the first one that's actually going to stir up a lot of trouble, and I think that's good. It doesn't put targets on people's backs, it just makes people go against each other, and it's interesting. It kind of divides the house more, and I like that. Basically, they think, okay, well, let's see if this works, and if it doesn't work, they're going to think of something else for the POV ceremony. So, that's pretty much all we saw of that. So then Amber goes to speak to Zach, and she tells him that she was not trying to get him out of the house, because she knows that he knows about the Girls Alliance, and basically, in the future, he should speak to her. And basically, Zach decides that he's not going to put her up on the block. He's going to backdoor her, which is honestly a good idea. If she's your main target, go ahead, backdoor her, and I respect him for doing that, because the best thing to do is, when you have a set target for that week, backdoor them. That's what you do. When you have a set target, backdoor them. Don't hesitate. Do not put them on a block. If they're your set target, they could win Battle of the Block, they could win POV, backdoor them. That's the best thing to do, in my opinion. I thought that was definitely really good. So then after this, they nominate the two HOHs, I did this again. The two nominees, the two HOHs nominated, nominations, basically, Frankie nominated Jocasta and Victoria, which was completely a game move, and Frankie did this because he really wants, Zach to lose the Battle of the Block, to get dethroned so that way he can stay in the Battle Block, and I thought this was actually a very smart decision that Frankie did. One of the few smart decisions he's actually done. I don't really like Frankie as a player, but this was a smart decision of what he did. Although Zach did make a good point, and I agree with this point. Zach said how it is, you can't say the phrase, I don't want to get any blood on my hands, because it's week 5. I understand that. It's week 5. It's time to get blood on your hands. It's time to play dirty a little bit. Because I believe next week is when the jury's going to start. Because last year, week 6 is when the jury started. So I'm pretty sure that's why, they need to start playing dirty, definitely. I understand Zach's strategy perfectly. I understand that. I would have probably done the same thing. First 4 weeks, fine if you just lay low a little bit. But, a good strategy is to lay low. Get along with people. Get people on your side. That's a good strategy. But then when it comes, in week 5, it's crunch time. You gotta go, go after people. And I understand why Zach is doing that. However, Frankie doesn't think it's the right time to do that, and that's why I don't really respect Frankie as a player, personally. So, then what ended up happening was Zach ended up putting up Christine and Nicole up for eviction. And he said probably one of the funniest speeches I've ever heard in nominations. I thought it was actually a very funny speech. He basically says to Christine, if we were to look in the Big Brother dictionary for the definition of floater, it would be a picture of you and Jen City from Big Brother 14. Where'd you get her from? When I think of Christine, I think of Andy. That's what I think of. I think of Andy when I think of floaters. Because Andy was the ultimate floater. I mean, really, he was the ultimate floater, really. And then he calls Nicole a Fruit Loop dingus, and he puts the two of them up for eviction. And I understand why he did this. He wants to try to tear apart Christine and Nicole's little friendship and basically not make them friends anymore. I understand that because Christine and Nicole, they're not working together. You know, Nicole claims they're not working together, that they're just friends. However, you can kind of tell that she's kind of telling a lie. Nicole's not dumb, as I said. She is kind of dumb with some things. She is very naive. Now, I will say the one thing that Nicole is very, very sensitive to things that she should not be sensitive about. Because after Zach says this to Nicole and Christine, Nicole loses it. She's, like, crying hysterically over him calling her a Fruit Loop dingus. And the thing is, like, it wasn't even that insulting what he said to you. He only did this because he wanted to, he put up you and Christine because it was a big game move, and really his target is Amber, and he just wants players that he knows people are not going to vote out. That's why he did it. He is pissed at Christine, but you're not the target this week. Amber is. Of course, Nicole doesn't know this, but Nicole did not need to cry over this. I don't understand why she cried over it. I thought she she was a little too sensitive, and that's one of the things I don't like about Nicole. I think she's a very nice person, but personally as a player in the Big Brother house, she's very sensitive, and she really needs to not react as sensitive as she is. You would think with her having a boyfriend, she'd be a lot more calmed down and a lot more subdued about those sort of things, but she's very sensitive. However, she is not as sensitive as Victoria, who's crying hysterically. Jocasta's trying to calm her down so they can win the Battle of the Block. And honestly, Jocasta, it's no luck. We all know there's nothing you're going to be able to do about that because we all know that Victoria is a drama queen. I mean, she's hot, she's a nice girl, but she is a drama queen. She cries over everything, and she cries hysterically over everything. And that's just the way it's going to be. She's going to cry over everything, and that's just the way it's going to be. So yeah, I just thought, like, it's no use to have, getting Victoria to not cry. It's not something that's gonna work. That's never gonna happen, because she's always gonna cry over stupid shit. She really is. And then basically Frankie decides that he wants to make the house happy no matter what. So nobody has hard feelings against him. And if it means throwing Zach under the bus, so be it. And I do understand that, why he wants to do that. Frankie actually wants to go after Zach, possibly. And that's what he wants to do. So it's time for the Battle of the Block. And I really like Battle of the Block. It was designed like a wedding. They had to basically put a wedding cake together. And Nicole and Christine did end up winning, which makes Zach actually a huge target this week, because now Frankie is thinking he's actually possibly going after Zach and possibly going to backdoor him. And I do not think that's a good idea at all. I do understand Frankie's logic there, though. If Zach's causing him most trouble in the house, everyone's pretty much against Zach right now. Now would be a perfect time to send him out. To me, personally, who I think they should send out is Amber, because Amber is going after your alliance. If Amber, Amber is not in your alliance, Zach is. I understand turning against your alliance, but it's a little too early to do that. Think of the Brigade. The Brigade never turned against their alliance till it was double eviction night. That's when, Big Brother 12, the Brigade, they never turned against their alliance till it was eviction night. Or the Quack Pack in Big Brother 14. Yes, Dan was sort of the one to turn against the alliance, but they didn't do that till, later in the game. And, if the Detonators have only been running for 1 week, so if they want to be successful, it's not the time to turn against your alliance yet. I don't like that people keep turning against their alliance. It's not the time to do that yet. Maybe a little later in the game, yeah, but not yet. In my opinion, the person to go after this week is Amber. I think Amber is the person to go after. She's trying to make a girl alliance against you. She failed, pretty much. She's going after a bunch of, she's going after the Detonators, obviously. And she doesn't know about the alliance, but if not her, then Caleb. One of them needs to go this week because if Amber leaves, Caleb might actually become a better player. But if Caleb leaves, he'll stop annoying Amber, and then Amber, then you can vote out Amber. Either one, I'd like to see go this week. Zach, personally, no, I don't think he should go this week. I think Zach made a really good move. A really, really good move, in my opinion. I was not expecting what he did. I thought that was definitely a very good strategy, very good move, and I really hope he doesn't leave, because I think what he did was actually a very good strategy, and I really liked his strategy. So, yeah, I definitely really enjoyed what Zach did. So let me know what you guys saw this episode. Overall, for me, I thought this was the best episode of the season. I really enjoyed it. What do you guys think of this episode? Did Nicole react to, did Nicole overreact about that comment that Zach said to her? I thought she overreacted, personally. She's way too sensitive, in my opinion. Did Zach make the best, did Zach actually make a really good, move, possibly? Do you think that Zach kind of stirred up a lot of trouble in the house? By the way, Team America failed with their mission, so they have to wait till the veto, so we'll have to see if, at the veto ceremony they can stir things up. We'll have to see. I'm wondering if this might be the first mission that Team America can accomplish, which will be interesting to see if they can't. Who do you think the target's going to be now that Frankie's HOH? I kind of have a feeling that, as I said, Amber is probably going to be the target, because people are going to tell him to go after Amber. But that's it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Witches of East End, which I'm going to watch right now. So see you guys for that. Okay, bye.